Hello and welcome back to the Truth About Weight Loss video series with Angela B. and friends. So many overweight women feel disempowered. One main reason is certainly the constant failure of diets and the fact that women tend to blame these failures on themselves. It hardly crosses their mind that it might be the diet that is wrong. This leads to a whole chain of false patterns and behaviors that make matters worse and worse. Dr. Susan explains a very powerful way of self-empowerment in today's video. So, I can only say, enjoy.
Absolutely. So you've got to decide today that from now on your word's going to count. You make your word gold, you say what you're going to do, and you follow through. And if you think, well, what does it matter? Because I didn't tell anybody that I'm starting a new fitness program. Nobody will know if I don't keep my word. But you know what? I think God knows, the universe knows. And how do you
And you know.
Yeah, how do you ever expect someone to think you'll keep a commitment to them if you can't even keep a commitment to yourself? You know, commitment to a project, a weight loss program, it can lend a stability to the chaotic whirl of everyday life because daily actions that reaffirm our commitments bring a feeling of empowerment and increased self-esteem. But it's through our everyday behavior, Angela, that we know what really counts to us. So commitment means you got to get past your excuses, follow through on what you say you're going to do, make your word count, and be responsible and accountable.
Absolutely. Because otherwise it's not only taking a hit on your self-esteem, but also on your integrity.
Oh, there you go. Exactly. There are three things over which we really have control in life. One is what we think. We can always change our thoughts. One is what we eat because nobody shoves the food down your throat, we hope. And and the third is how we move, how we exercise. And we have control over those things. And I do believe it all begins with our attitude. My grandmother as a teenager always used to say to me, Angela, and you'll like this, she used to say, attitude is the mind's paintbrush. It can color anything. And it can. You know, you're in charge of your thoughts, and it all begins with how you feel and what you think, and then, of course, what you say and the actions you take. But if your life isn't the way you want it to be right now, look at how you're thinking. Do you wake up every day and immediately think, I wonder what will fit me today, what clothes will fit me, because I'm not the weight I want to be? Or do you step on the scale and see the weight, and then your mood that day depends on what the scale says? You know, it begins with your attitude, and know how important that is. At the turn of the century, last century, the famous philosopher William James said that the greatest discovery of this generation is that a human being can change his or her life just by changing his or her attitude.
Yeah, I totally believe that. In my coaching, I have seen it over and over again that people don't even need to follow a diet. They lose weight as soon as they change their attitude.
If you go about weight loss the right way, this is about all the self-discipline you will have to do. Just do what you promised yourself. But you need to be careful about what you are going to promise yourself. For instance, if you promise yourself to go on the XYZ diet tomorrow and follow through with it for the next 6 months, then you are setting yourself up for failure, and this will reaffirm your pattern of failing and not keeping your word. Therefore, be very careful about what you are going to promise yourself from now on. Make sure that this is something you can easily follow through with. And by the way, dieting is in 99% set up for failure. A very good and simple way to start this self-empowering way is through exercise. Because the longer and more often you do a particular exercise, for instance daily walking, the easier it becomes and the more your body really wants that exercise to a point where you can't be without it anymore. Then it gets really easy to follow through with what you have promised yourself to do. So it's really opposite to dieting. Dieting gets more and more difficult and harder the longer it takes, and exercising becomes easier and more enjoyable from week to week. My next video will be short and it will answer the question, what is the first step to stop yo-yo dieting? And Dr. Carol Solomon will answer that question. In the meantime, please enjoy the process.